And we welcome you back to the Jerry McCrory Countryside Arena for Game 2 on rink number 2 of the NOJHL Showcase. This game is between the Espanola Paperkings and the Iroquois Falls Storm, as we're supposed to have the opening face-off here. The puck drops and Espanola Paperkings pick up the puck, and they dump it down into the end right on the goalie. Cassidy from the Storm picks up the puck, throws it around. The Storm try and chip it out, but it's held in. And the Storm finally break out of their end as their players taken into the boards by a Paper King. And the Storm are back in their own end, but controlling the puck, making a move. The pass is ripped off. Signoretti takes the puck in, close for a chance, and he is saved. And the Storm again try and break out of their end. This time with success, they cross the blue line. Corbett picks up the puck and it slides into the Paper Kings' end, but it's absorbed by Espanola as they get it down. The puck bounces back and forth. And then we're back down in the Paper Kings' end again. Horgan back to pick it up around the net, swings around, makes a little pass out, but that's intercepted by Sherwin of the Storm. And Sherwin has some trouble getting it deep in, but they still control the puck inside the Paper Kings' end. Into the corner now, is swinging around the net. Pass out and a shot by 55 right on is saved. And slides back to the corner. And Crump goes back into the Storm end to pick up. Throws it around to his partner. He receives the pass, throws it up to Sherwin at center, who tries to break out, but it's picked off his stick by Booth. Booth goes in, takes a shot, and scores! Booth with a quick goal early in the game, right under the goalie's glove. Booth. That was a shot that should have been out of the end, but he was able to make a play and keep it in, and then make a quick shot to score.
Beautiful work there by him. Just sees the opportunity, sees the play, gets the stick on, sees his target, and fires that home a minute and 20 seconds into this one, and that's testament to the tenacity and speed and physicality of the Espanola Paper Kings.
And they lose the draw, but gain the puck back. Guthrie has another chance down, a one-handed shot on the goalie, who easily covers it up and holds it inside.
We've seen a lot of goalies beat, specifically on this end of the ice, in that exact spot this entire tournament, that low glove side, and they're just not able to control it.
It must be the goalies looking towards us and like, let's give them something to talk about. The Storm get it out. There's one-on-one down. Oh, puck's intercepted. Goes back the other way. Drigo passes it back up to Booth. Drigo has it again, dumps it in. Booth circles out of the zone, back in. Chases into the corner. The puck gets fired around to the other corner and gets up. The Storm carried out of their end across the red line and into the blue line. And falls off his stick and makes its way to the goalie where he covers it up for a face-off with 18:08 left in the period. Something
we've seen a lot from Espanola this season is their speed is just so impressive. You got to be lucky to keep up with them. Guys like Signoretti can just turn on the afterburners at any moment and completely take the game into their hands.
And on that face-off, the Storm win it as they get it back to their defenseman, but not easily handled, so it's thrown back in. Short for the Paper Kings, picks it up, tries to put it out in front, and hands it off to the Storm. They haven't got a shot off yet. They got a shot on the net that time now. And the Paper Kings dump it out. And he's bumped off the puck, and it's fired back down in the Paper Kings' end, and they're fighting for it down there. The Paper Kings end up with the puck, and then the Storm take it back. It flows back behind the net the other way. Guthrie has it, chips it out off the glass, and it goes up to Siblovich. And he gets hit after the whistle and does not like it, so he gives a little hit back, but they both skate away, and nothing more from it than that.
Pretty much what you'd expect from a game like this. Espanola, for the most part, looking to be in control, but not to mention Iroquois Falls. They've had quite a few opportunities. It's just a few small pieces aren't clicking there. The Espanola goalie is giving up some juicy rebounds, and the Iroquois Falls players just need to get in position to capitalize off that, because that's an advantage they can certainly use there.
And there's a draw at center ice that didn't really go either way, but the Storm end up with it and dump it down in the Paper Kings' end. And it's a little back and forth with the puck, and the Paper Kings end up with it now and try and break out of their zone. Their breakout is unsuccessful, but the Storm carried out of the end for them, and if they make control, it gets dumped back in. The Paper Kings are first on it and see if they can, but they're unable to clear it, and the shot taken towards the net. Horgan now behind his net clears it up. It's chipped out to a nice play by Ferguson, who goes into the corner. He has Drigo with him. He throws it out in front, but that pass is intercepted, thrown into the corner, and the Storm now take their turn to try and break out, but it's held in. Fired back into the corner and around the net. Ferguson picks it up for the Paper Kings. Pethick pinches in and throws a shot on net, but it's tipped just wide. Throw through for the Storm, chips it out, and Pethick is back, picks it up, throws it back in. The Storm throw it back out. We have Schwanisch in with it. His shot taken away by Lyons, who is intercepted and ends up back in the hands of the Storm. Then the Paper Kings get it back and chip it out. Watt then tries to chip it in. It's off shin pads, but back to his own teammate. And the Paper Kings are trying to, or the Storm are trying to break into the Paper Kings' end. They fire it deep down. It's out, stopped by the goalie. Played off to a defenseman. He makes the pass all the way up, and that was nearly a breakaway pass, but it just hopped the stick to Peters Davies. But he's in on the puck, and the forecheck, the Paper Kings have the control of it. He walks across the line. Signoretti takes his winder up, takes a shot just over the net. He had a top corner available to him, though. And it's dumped back in by Lyons. Peters Davies grabs it, throws it around. Pethick pinches in to try and keep it in. And he's successful and makes his way back up to Signoretti, who's fighting with a couple Storm on the boards. Pethick takes a shot at the net, which is easily directed wide by the goaltender, but Peters Davies picks up the rebound, throws it back to the point, and that shot was just slid off the heel. But they managed to control the puck, and Signoretti has it again and breaks in. Throws it back to Lyons, who moves it to Peters Davies, who tries to find Signoretti again, but can't make it to him. Signoretti ends up with the puck anyway, as the Storm trying to break out of their end. And McKnight tries to grab it and clear, but it ends up back in the Storm end again, where they have control of the puck, and it's being broken out now. Crosses the blue line, crossing the red line, and Crump breaks into the Paper Kings end, where he loses control of the puck. It's bouncing around amongst a few players. The Paper Kings end up with it and they get it out of the zone. But the Storm are able to grab it back and throw it back in, where it's blockered into the corner by the goaltender. Fired back around from defenseman to defenseman as he slowly makes his way through. Makes a pass up, but it's intercepted by Felix of the Storm, where he throws it back in. It's back behind the net of the Paper Kings, where they're trying to make their breakout play again. And they maintain control, but don't get too far up the ice. A little pass back and forth, and it's fired around. And the icing is waved off on that play because it was touched by Siblovich just on the side of the red line. Booth now has the puck, throws it across. Short now has the puck. He's in, takes a shot from wide angle, which gets tipped high and wide, and it's into the netting.
Quite the back and forth sequence there, but for the most part, Espanola maintained really good control of offensive zone pressure. I had to check the scoreboard to see if they were on a power play that I missed, but their passing is super effective. They're able to make the space that they need. Iroquois Falls is just unable to keep up, and that allows them to have long, effective, many-chance shifts.
And the draw is about to be had, and the Paper Kings win it back. Short grabs it, throws it across to his partner, who takes a shot, but it gets deflected and ends up back, but it's held in by Guthrie. It's passed over in front for a nice shot. Big save by the goaltender there. And the Storm look to clear out, but they aren't able to. Pass goes across, skips Booth's stick, but he picks it up off the boards, and he's fighting with some Storm members to try and get it out. And Storm do get the puck. And they're able to dump it down in on the goalie. I don't know if that counts as a shot, but it's a touch of the puck at least, and the Paper Kings have it. They slide it around. Siblovich has it in his own end. Goes back around behind his net to make the breakout. He's being pestered by Leach from the Storm. And the Paper Kings now have it, and they get out over their end. There's a little blunder on the puck. It ends up on the stick of a Storm player. Goes across to the fenceman. Goes across to Jagoth of the Storm. He plays it back in for a defenseman to grab it. Cassidy has it. Passes it across to his partner, Knight. Goes out to Corbett. And the Storm now have it. They got legs. Cho goes wide around his man. Tries to pass across, but it's blocked by a nice diving play by one of the Paper Kings, and it's covered up by the goaltender.
Really good defensive play there, seeing the pass coming in, seeing it in a dangerous spot opposite the goaltender. Gets his body right in front of it, and that allows the goaltender to cover up. really effectively, and there's not much to dislike about the Paperkings game at this point. They're fast, they're tough, and they're smart.
Andrew Galton's a sharp goaltender. He's made a couple good little plays already. Property of the Sudbury Wolves as well. As the Paperkings break out of their end, the puck's chipped up. But the Paperkings maintain control. And Storm take it away, and they go back the other direction. A lot of time hanging out in the neutral zone here, trying to make a proper break-in so they can get a good chance here. Chwish is skating. Sherwin grabs it and just dumps it deep. We have a Paperking on it, plays it out, but the Storm are right on them. Ferguson grabs it though, and he makes a breakout. Tries to hit Drigo with a pass, but it misses him. But he made just contact of it, so it negated icing. And Storm now have it again in their zone. Try to make a pass down, but that one will go for icing. And that is called, and we end up back at the other end of the ice.
Something to look at is Iroquois Falls in the neutral zone. So far, Iroquois Falls has not been able to push the way that they'd like to, and that's a testament to how strong the Paperkings are. They're able to just bully you off the puck, use that strong stick checking, and you have to double back and come back with a really effective plan. Otherwise, you're not getting through.
And that faceoff was technically won by the Paperkings, but the Storm ended up with it on their stick and got it out of the zone, so that's what really counts for the team. And as the line change, passed to a guy who's trying to skate off the ice, so he had to be careful not to touch the puck. They got just out of the end, and the referee deems that it was touched outside and then touched inside before the play resumed. So it ended.
Didn't quite see that, but you'll have to take any draw you can get more towards the opponent's zone. You know, an advantage is an advantage, and when they're already up 1-0 this early on, small one can lead to big chances.
Yeah, and there was a glove down by Felix, rolled almost onto his own net. And the Paperkings try and keep it in the zone, but it gets out. The Storm break into the Paperkings' end. And the puck was covered up, but then he moved it on. And the ref blew the whistle anyway, I suppose. I'm not sure what that whistle was about either, because he had covered it up, moved it on, and the player had taken the puck away before the whistle went. It might have been a delayed offside that they weren't clearing the zone. I'm not sure.
That may be the case, as the puck is being dropped just outside the zone.
And the Storm again win the face-off, dump it into the zone, but the Paperkings grab it and make a play up. Try to hit Signoretti, but he wasn't able to receive the pass. So it's down in the Storm end. The Paperkings trying to maintain it along the boards, but it gets chipped back and forth a little bit. The Storm have it, and they're hoping to get out, but the Paperkings intercept, and then the Storm get it back. The Storm are able to chip it out this time. Comes up, Signoretti has it across the blue line. He has Lines with him. And there's Peter Davies in front of the net. It's held in at the blue line, chipped back in. Lines picks it up. He's fighting over there in the corner. There's several members of the Storm. Chwish has it now. And he throws it across. Watt has it. Flips it up the ice, trying to find one of his members. And they do. It's 2-on-0 here. Great play. And that is saved by the goaltender. Galton is looking great out there tonight so far. Big hit by Lines on the far boards. Paperkings pick up the puck and start to head down the ice. Rufa grabs it across the blue line. Drops it for Signoretti. He tries to find a partner, but blocks off a shin pad and ends up back on the stick of McKnight for the Storm as they head down the ice across the blue line. Leach takes a shot from the point, which goes just wide. Behind the net for the Storm. They get it just out front for a wide-angle shot, but that's gloved down by Galton and held on to.
That will bring us to our mid-period break here, where we would like to take the opportunity to mention that the NOJHL and Canadian Mental Health Association are proud to partner on Talk Today, a mental health program that provides education and support to athletes and raises mental health awareness in the community. To learn more, please visit CMHA Sudbury /Mantoulin at 111 Elm Street, Sudbury, or go to talktoday.ca. That is talktoday.ca.
Yeah, mental health is such an important issue. It's something that really only got started talking about recently, so I'm quite a fan of the name of the Talk Today, because a lot of times it's a thing where, you know, especially in sporting communities where it being tough and being strong is an important virtue, it's still important to also recognize when you have, you know, an injury or something going on that you need to deal with. So I think it's very important and a very apt name that they chose in the talk today.
Couldn't agree more.
And as the buzzer sounds, that means we're heading back towards play again. Face off in the Paperkings end to the glove side of Andrew Galton.
And that previous 2-on-0 rush essentially has been Iroquois Falls' best chance so far. But good defensive pressure from the back and heads-up goaltending keep this 1-0 game.
Yeah. When puck's fired around the Paperkings net, Guthrie tries to chip it out and find the puck, and they do. Storm have it back in their control again, but they are having trouble keeping it on their stick. But Jugnoth dumps it in deep, and it ends up for a great pass out, but the shot was blocked, and Guthrie has it again. Trying to break out, gets out of his end, but gives it up just on the other side of the blue line, and it's thrown back into the Paperkings zone. And that's a pass back around. Short picks it up on the boards. He just hops his stick. And there's a big hit on the close boards where Siblovich was leveled by a member of the Storm. The Paperkings fired out and down, but that pass is intercepted by Watt. Thrown across Crump, trying to catch that behind his back, doesn't get it. Guthrie throws it deep in. Siblovich, the first Paperking in after a couple Storm players. Pass back and forth behind the net. And we have the Storm heading the other way. Cross the line, try to throw it in. The pass is missed, and it makes its way to Galton, where he just easily covers it up.
Paperkings currently being outshot 6-3, but not to mention that the Iroquois Falls shots have mostly been kept to the outside, kept from those low percentage chances. And again, the best one was that 2-on-0, but even then they had trouble getting an actual shot off and made contact essentially with the goalie's pad.
And the Paperkings gain control off the draw and are able to get it out of their end. But the Storm pick it up. The pass across is intercepted by Denuden, but he's disrupted by Cassidy. Tries to get to the point. Horgan holds it in, though. And Horgan's chasing it deep. It's left for the Storm player. Denuden goes after him behind the net. Sherwin is past the puck, and they're throwing it up. And Shawanish has a breakaway, takes a shot. He had an open left-hand side with a blocker save on it. Sherwin gets it again. Shawinish gets it. Circles around. Circles it back again. Throws it across to the defenseman McKnight. Throws it back up towards Roy. Horgan fighting with Roy for the puck, and it's grabbed by McKnight and thrown in. Shawinish winds up, but it doesn't get a shot off. Tries to make a pass back to someone in front, but it goes right through to Drigo. Drigo heads down across the red line. Throws it in deep and takes a hit. Denuden is in fighting for it with Cassidy. Cassidy's down on the puck, but it's grabbed by the Paperkings. Back to Rampersad. Rampersad takes a shot, but it's deflected. Deep in the corner, we have makes its way back in front of the net. The Storm pick up the puck, and they chip it out to center. Through Rampersad's feet, and it's into the Paperkings' end. It's stuck around the blue line. Juggernaut takes it, throws it at the net, and that is saved by Galton.
Iroquois Falls getting increasingly more and more offensive zone time, while they're having trouble maintaining in that setup. In the latter half of this first period, they've been getting more chances, much better zone entries, and much better quality chances. Though the goaltender may be able to see them from far away, at least they're getting them much better on net.
Yeah, and the Storm win that draw back, but it ends up on Signoretti's stick where he throws it in deep. It's being chased by Rufa, but that is being called icing because Signoretti had not yet crossed the blue line when he dumped it in.
I see. 8-3, currently the shots. 1-0, still the score. Halfway through this first period. So far, fairly balanced game at this point. At first it looked all Espanola, but Iroquois Falls has slowly been crawling back into being in contention for this one.
And there's an Iroquois Falls player with the name Scott, but it's written on tape on the back of his jersey. I can't help but feel like it's Michael Scott, maybe. Andrew Scott, former Voodoo. And Peter Stavey ends up with the puck and then breaking in, passes it across. That can't connect in time. Throw it out in front. Now the Storm are breaking out. Leach crosses the red line over to Scott, who takes a shot that's blockered into the corner. It's up to Signoretti, who's one-on-one. He's a dangerous player when he's given space. Tries to throw it across. didn't make it through, then it did, and Peters Davy just tipped it on net, but that was not a very dangerous chance.
Very close to being one. Signoretti gets the puck, throws it on net, and it had a little bit of a weird bounce there, and you never know how you're going to predict those. Sure, they typically look like an easy save, but sometimes they just make their way where they're not supposed to.
Yeah, and Connor Dunham-Fox made no mistake there in covering it up so that ended any reign of terror. And the puck is dropped. The Storm end up with the puck again and fire it all the way down. And their player gets to it first, but he's tied up and unable to make a play with it. Cho passes it across to Corbett. Corbett fires it back around. Cho picks it up in the other corner. Drops it back to Watt, who takes a shot, and it's deflected in front. And there's an injured Paper King player on the play. He's trying to get up, but he can't seem to make it onto his skates by himself. The trainer comes over. I don't need to do play-by-play for the injury, I don't think.
Nope. To mention the previous play that just happened, though, a bold choice by the goaltender to not play the puck anywhere else, leave the rebound directly while a rush was happening from the Iroquois Falls player for the battle there. And it could have led to a fairly dangerous chance, but quick reaction by the defenseman, making the stick immobile, and clears that one out of there fairly effectively.
Yeah, and that was one of those ones where I think he thought he had two guys there that they were going to get it, and then all of a sudden the Storm player jumped through. And that's Booth that's being led to the dressing room, and he's off the ice now. That's a loss that they're definitely going to feel. He scored the first goal. He's made some good plays today. And the Paper Kings win that draw. Pethick has it behind his net. Throws it around to the far side. Comes up to Rupa in the center, but he gets checked. But it ends up back on the stick of Guthrie. It's around. Big hit thrown by the Paper Kings. Thrown in deep. And then we have the puck going down the other way towards their end. The Storm have it. Hit the guy in front. Oh, big save by Guthrie. The pass across the net. He just dives across, gets his glove out, and holds on to it.
Paper Kings focusing a lot on the puck handler, leaving Iroquois Falls player completely alone in the slot. And goaltender sees that one all the way, manages to get over just in time, sprawls the body out, and gets complete control of the puck. Beautiful read by the Espanola goaltender.
And that's one thing that they've been good at, is finding an open space to get to for a pass. McKnight has it at the point, shoots it in its tip, but doesn't make it to the goalie. Paper Kings are struggling to try and get it out, but it ends up on the stick of the Storm. Sherwin has it, passes it around, makes it back to the point to McKnight. Back across his partner Cassie, takes a shot where it's deflected up and just over the net. That was a weird looping one that ends up on the back of the net, and the whistle blows down the play.
As I mentioned slightly earlier, continually, Iroquois Falls seems to be swinging the momentum way more in their favor. They're spending a lot more time down here. Their defensive zone actions have been keeping Espinola's chances down. Espinola still only has 4 shots on goal. Meanwhile, Iroquois Falls has 11, and they're looking increasingly more and more dangerous in the final quarter of this period here.
The Paper Kings with a big face-off win in their own end, but it's on the clearing attempt, it's chipped up and into the mesh, so we're back into the face-off zone again. We have that time the Storm win it for back, and the shot is tipped wide of the net. Kept in by the Storm. And we have some fighting along the boards. And then it makes its way out. And there's some fight going on behind the play, but there's shot up just wide of the net by Siblovich. And Ferguson passes it back to his D-man. They have it outside their own end. Rampersad hands it up to Siblovich, where he breaks into the zone. He goes wide, tries to take a corner, but misses the net altogether. It ends up back. Horgan has the puck now. Puck makes out in front of the net and shot right into the body of Dunham Fox, and he holds on to it.
Espanola using that strength, that power to cut through defenders in order to earn your spot at the front of the net and get a really good opportunity right in front of the blue plate there.
Yeah, we line up here again. Ferguson's in for the draw and wins it back. Paperkings with a shot that gets blocked. And the Storm are able to get it out. Bloom has it. But he loses it. Pethick throws it up to Drigo. Drigo back to Ferguson. Ferguson takes a shot. It's blocked. Back to Drigo. Shot right into the body of Dunham Fox again. And he holds on to it.
Really good rebound recovery there from Espinola. Get right on top of that one, dish it back to an open player, and immediately get another high opportunity scoring chance off of that.
We have Trwanish against Ferguson in for the draw here. We draw back. Trwanish wins that one. Gilden throws it around to the corner. And Scott tries to play, holds on to it, but doesn't get it out. The Storm still have it on back on the Scott's stick, and he tries to get through. The Storm still have it. Watt throws it up to his defenseman, misses target Leach. Ends up in the Paperkings end, but on the stick of the Paperkings. They throw it out, back down. Storm have it controlling in their own end, try to make a long pass up. It ends up hitting the goalie, so there's no icing. Leach grabs the puck. Over to Trwanish. Trwanish grabs it. He's being pinned in the corner by Ferguson. Moves the puck to Scott. Scott's trying to grab it, but it ends up on the Paperkings stick. They throw it up, and it hits one of the rafters.
The main difference I'm seeing between Espinola and Iroquois Falls so far is Espinola seems very decisive in the type of plays that they want to go for and the type of shots that they feel comfortable taking risks on. Meanwhile, Iroquois Falls seems like they have to sort of work with whatever they can get at this point, and that's given them a few opportunities, but it seems less consistent than the play of Espinola at this point.
And plays one by the draw. The draw's won by the Storm. And again, the shot goes into the corner, picked up by the Paperkings, and they throw it out towards the center of the ice. Ferguson grabs it, throws it up to Denuden. Drigo has it, fires it in. It's picked up by the Storm, fired back down into the Paperkings' end. Pethick has it, throws it up. It's tipped in by Ferguson, and he's off to the races to try and grab it. Do the first one in, and he's fighting there. Throws it in front of the net. It's left for the Paperkings, but he's not able to find the meshing. Denuden throws it back around. Ferguson grabs it, throws it to the point. Across. It's deemed to have broken the line. Corbett has it for the Storm. He's trying to get in. Being checked hard by Pethick. There he comes in, tries to grab the puck. He comes away with it, throws it up and out to the stick of Peters Davies, where he has Felix to contend with, but he gets by him, not able to get a shot off though. Shot pass goes in front, but it's intercepted, and the Storm break out. Signoretti grabs it off of his stick though and breaks back into the Storm's end. Signoretti has the puck, knocked off his stick. Storm grab it, and they head back the other way, crossing the red line, and Fire dump it in deep. Lyons has it in his own end, fires it around to the defenseman in the other corner. He fires it up the board. Peters Davies has it, throws it up to Lyons, crosses in on, deemed onside, and they have a chance and score! What a nice goal on a play. He breaks in, little move with the tip with the stick to have it up just over the goalie's equipment and into the net.
Espinola was gaining and gaining towards getting something in the net there. They've had a few opportunities. Previously, just a few moments before this, Ferguson with a really nice play to get deep into the boards and then send that right in the slot to Dan Uden. And with this, continually using their speed, using their strength, they're able to push in tight to the goaltender and sneak one past on the far side. Wonderful work there from the Paperkings.
That was Signoretti with the goal, and he has the puck back on his stick again after that draw, fires it into the end. And that one is called icing again because he hadn't crossed the blue line before he fired it, and the Storm got to it first.
There's 2 minutes and 3 seconds remaining on this, and Espinola still being outshot 10-12, not by a major margin. But when you have 2 goals on that many shots, and more importantly, that so many of your shots have been high-quality chances, that's got to be something scary that you got to look at, and something you definitely got to talk about going into the locker room at the break.
So the Paperkings won that draw, and now Lyons has it. It's taken off the puck. And it's up for grabs now. It looks like there's a penalty being called here. Peters Davies, it looks like, is being called for interference. And the Storm will head to a man advantage.
Iroquois Falls increasingly looking like they're getting better chances in the 5-on-5 now that they finally have a 5-on-4 that they can work with. Maybe that will give them enough space to actually get something done, get some higher quality chances, move in a little bit further, and finally put a marker up on the board here at the tail end of the first period.
And Schwanisch wins the draw, but Lyons gets out and gets his stick on it to cause a little chaos, but Cho for the Storm ends up with the puck. He loses it and gets fired down. Dunham Fox is out, touches the puck, holds it behind his net for his team to come back and grab it. And Sherwin ends up with the puck. He throws it out wide. Cassidy has it. Back to Schwanisch. He spins around in his own end to try and make some room for himself. Skates past Ferguson and he starts to make his way down the ice. We get into the zone. Schwanisch has it still. Passes back to his partner Cassidy. Back to Schwanisch. Back to Cassidy, who steps in and takes a shot from the point, but that's blocked by Ferguson. He's dumped down the ice by the Paperkings. Outstopped by Dunham Fox. Ferguson's on him, so he plays it. Schwanisch grabs it, tries to chip it out, but Siblovich almost intercepted there and had a chance. The Storm go back. Schwanisch breaks into the end, tries to make a play, gets a little stuck up a little bit. Sherwin grabs the puck at the blue line, holds it in. Makes a nice nifty play, but the puck is knocked off his stick and is fired back down again. And the Storm end up back in their own end again, trying to break out and see how far they can get it this time. As they set up behind their net, Siblovich is in to provide a little pressure to make sure they know he's there. But McKnight ends up with it, crosses the red line, a stick of Gilden, throws it across, who had Crump streaking towards the net. McKnight has it at the blue line, who just holds it in, but Signoretti is on him and holding the puck now, goes back into his own end, just to waste a bit more time here with 20 seconds left on. We have 10 seconds left in the period. Over to the Paperkings. They fire it down the ice, just off the net. Picked up by Gilden in his end, and the buzzer sounds to end the period.
Really good penalty kill so far from Espanola. Looking like a bunch of neon green bees just swarming every single Iroquois Falls player, not giving them the space, making them extremely uncomfortable, and constantly dumping it down to the other zone. 2 goals on the net so far for the Espanola Paperkings. Iroquois Falls having flashes of opportunity there, but not able to put anything solid together so far. So that's something you got to look at, getting your tightness in your plays up, getting higher quality shot opportunities, and making sure that when you get an advantage, you have to be able to capitalize on that, because Espanola is not a team to give you anything.
Yeah, that's very apt analysis. And here we are. We're heading into a break. We'll be back in approximately 15 minutes with the next period of play. We're at 10-12 for the shots in favor of the Paperkings. As we line up here for the draw, Paperkings are down one man for 9 seconds. The Storm win the draw back. Back and forth a couple times in their own end and feed it out into the neutral zone. They get down into the Paperkings end, but the penalty is over. We're back to even strength. Corbett takes a pass across. McKnight's shot is blocked. Corbett takes a shot right into the body of Galton, and he holds on to that for the faceoff.
Good little rush there to take advantage of what was left of that penalty. No goal coming of it, but at the very least, you're in the zone. You can get set up and hopefully execute off of that.
Yeah, and both the goalies have taken the whistle. The Dunham Fox had his off and was making an adjustment, and now Galton is making one on his helmet, it looks like. He's got it back on those, getting ready for the draw here. And the puck is dropped. It's fired around, but held in. Chipped out again, and this time it makes it out all the way down the ice. Icing is waved off. It's a big hit into the end boards on Cassidy, but he able to make the play. Fripp back to the point. Pethick takes a shot. Horgan grabs it at the other side. Signoretti goes after it in the corner. He's pinned up against the boards, but walks away with the puck, then loses it. Crump has it. Signoretti gets it back again, makes a nice play, but can't get a shot off. Horgan grabs it at the blue line, skates into the hash marks and loses the puck. Cassidy now has it going the other way across the blue line. Sherwin received the pass but couldn't settle it down in order to get a shot off. The Paperkings are struggling to get it out of their zone. Roy takes a shot, but it gets blocked before it gets to the net. Peters Davies passes up to Signoretti, who's in trying to beat Felix for it, but it's an icing call, and the puck will go back to the other end.
Just to go over the goals from the previous period, there was 2 in favor of the Espanola Paperkings, one very early on, a solo effort by Grant Booth, who I believe is still off the ice after incurring an injury early in the first there, and then Lucas Signoretti with an assist from Jack Lyons and Blake Peters Davey at 17:52 in the first.
And Schwanich comes out of that draw with the puck. Pass off to the defenseman who fires it in. Pad save into the corner. Goes and cycles it around, but Pethick grabs it for the Paperkings, throws it around. Peters Davies grabs it, throws it up. It's chipped into the end of the Storm, but they grab it. It's passed around to Felix, who gets it in his own corner. Passes it up, but that pass is intercepted. Horgan has the puck. Peters Davies takes a shot, blockers off into the corner. And then the Storm, Toronto breaks away with the puck. He has man with him, takes a shot, saved by the arm of Galton. Another shot into his body, drops down in front of him, and he covers it up.
Excellent position there from the Espanola Paper King goalie. That is Galton. Receives the initial shot, catches it kind of awkwardly on his upper arm, squares up, and keeps control of that rebound beautifully. Excellent work by the Paperkings goalie, facing 16 shots so far in this effort.
And the puck is dropped. Rampersad tries to chip it out, but it's up into the meshing, so we'll have a face-off again. Right to the blocker side of Galton. The Paperkings get a warning. The puck is now dropped. Jugnaut wins it. Back to Gilden. Across to his partner, shot in from the point. Makes its way behind the net. He's back again. Gilden grabs the puck. And there's a Storm player down. Slowly make his way back to his feet.
Things as we saw in yesterday's Espanola game, and hopefully not to the same extent in this one. As the game goes on, things tend to get increasingly more and more physical. In the game against French River early yesterday, in the game previous against the Powassan Voodoos, where there was a handful of slaps on the wrist handed out. Hopefully things can maintain fairly level-headed here in this one.
And the Storm win that draw. They move the puck from their own end. They move it up to center ice. They still control the puck, but aren't able to get it very far ahead. And they still have the puck. Crump throws it deep into the end. Short is point across the blue line. So that was deemed to be heading for icing, but it was waved off. The Storm have it, and they just try chipping it out and down. It gets down to right into the Paperkings end. Newton makes a pass, or Ampersand makes a pass up. We have the Paperkings in with the puck. Ferguson by the Storm, so he moves it quickly and fires it down. It's going for icing, but Signoretti is the first one to it. He grabs the puck, tries to make a nice move, but gets stopped. So the Storm head out with it now. Chwanish has it. He's across the center ice, across the blue line, has it in the maul, so he throws it around. Cho grabs the puck on the far boards, loses it. The Paperkings break down the ice across the red line. Rufa has it, tries to chip it past a man, but it's given up to the defense. Cho has it now, tries to hit Jugnoth, who was breaking away, but it gets by him. Galton made the play of the puck and got it out to his defenseman, who cleared it down the end. Felix picks it up for the Storm in his own end, throws it around the boards. Fired, shot up, held in by the Paperkings though. And it clears out on the second shot. The Paperkings grab it back. Storm chip it up forward. And they lose the puck. Sherwin has it. Throws it in front to an open man who has time with it. Takes a shot but just misses the net as he's checked it last second. Pass back to Sherwin, misses his stick and clears his own. Felix grabs it at his own blue line. Tries to feed it up. Signoretti intercepted that pass, throws it across to Booth, who's back out. Chips it in. Felix grabs it behind his net for the Storm. Throws it up to Roy. He passes it across to Sherwin. Crump now has it. Crosses the blue line. He's trying to stick the pin past Horgan. Horgan intercepts it though. He throws it up, tries to find an open man up, but they aren't able to get it. Guthrie has it though. Breaks in to the corner, takes a spin. Throws it back to the man at the point. Horgan takes a shot, and that's absorbed by the body of Dunham Fox.
You can't ask for a much better setup than that, than Horgan got there. Clean, wide open, right in the slot. Gets all the time in the world, and goaltender just stays right on top of that one. I believe that's Durham Fox is in net currently, and overall squares up well to that one. Sees that the entire way and stops his.
And Horgan has it again. Makes a play in front. Pass up front, but it can't be finished off. Gets out front again, and it's shipped towards the goalie. Now it's back to the point. Over to Guthrie at the other point. He loses control of it, and there's a struggle for the puck. No one's out with it yet. It's still in there. Still digging for the puck, being held up against the boards. Siblovich and Guthrie for the Paperkings are in there, and I can't see the numbers of the other side. Back out to the point. Rampersad throws it back deep into the corner. Siblovich grabs it, but loses control, and it gets back out to Bluin, who tries to make a nice play, but Horgan stops him. It's dumped back in. The big hit was leveled late against one of the Paperkings players, but play carries on. Rampersad throws it into the corner. And Siblovich takes a shot, but it's chipped by a stick, and the puck goes up, out, over the protective meshing.
This feels like a much closer game than the first period overall. Iroquois Falls having a few breakout chances that they just weren't able to capitalize on. Weird bounce here, just the slightest touch of a stick there, and matter of millimeters, and you'd be able to call this a much, much closer game.
Yep. So Pethick wins it back, and he takes a shot, but it gets blocked, and now it's on the far boards. The Storm try and clear the puck out. Leach grabs it, chips it up. Back to Cassidy now. Leach has it again. Now Scott has it breaking into the zone, trying to make a play with it. Short intercepts him though. Denuden has it now on the close boards. Passes it up to Ferguson, who moves it on, and the puck's gone deep into their end. Drigo there hits his man. Cho has it on the far boards. Passes up to Jugnoth, who passes it across. And the shot is blocked on its way towards the net and fired back out. The Storm easily collected in their own zone and look to start a breakout. Denuden's down in on them, pressuring them to try and make life a little bit more difficult. But they get the pass out. Cho crosses over his blue line, passes it up. Corbett has it inside the zone, makes a nifty play, but can't receive it on the other side of it. And the Paperkings end up with the puck. They're making a breakout. Attempted pass for Signoretti, misses him, and it's called icing.
Good opportunity there for the Paperkings, but quickly cleared away by the Iroquois Falls Storm, and it's one of those sort of feeling plays where it's just like, all right, where can we find a gap in the armor? Where can we try and find our next attack instead of a full-on set play or incredible breakout chance?
And for that play, the Paperkings won the draw and just fired it down the ice, but it didn't cross the line, so it wasn't an icing. It's picked up by the Storm, and it was just dumped back down, but now the Paperkings have it back at the Storm's end. The Storm have recovered the puck, though. They'll try to make a breakout play here. Skating around their own end, makes a pass up. Not received, but it does clear the zone. Goalie out behind the net to play it, and there's the Paperking in fighting with the goalie for the puck, but he gets back into his net before a shot's able to be taken. Horgan holds it in, though. Peters Davies takes a shot, but it's wide. Signoretti takes a shot and scores! Right over the pad, right under the blocker. He was just kind of left with an easy shot out front where he takes it and makes sure he doesn't miss on it.
What a great opportunity there that Espanola makes no mistake of. They get a chance to fire one in on from the point, get the nice tip, fires it right up in the air, maybe a little bit of obstruction in front of the Iroquois Falls goalie, and when you have that much space with that much time, you're not going to miss a shot like that. 3-0 in favor of the Espanola Paperkings.
And the draw is won by the Storm. They're passing back and forth in their own end, trying to make a play up. They try to find LaFontaine, but it misses him and goes down for icing, and we'll have a face-off back in the Storm zone.
And that's Sidney Reddy with his second of the game. We will update you as soon as we have the rest of the assists on the board, but he's consistently able to find himself in the right place at the right time using that speed and quick reactions.
And the Storm win the draw, fired around, but there's no one there to receive it, so the Paperkings end up with it. Back to Horgan. He fires on net, but his hip escapes and goes away. Clears the zone, but the Paperkings receive it and fire it back in. The Storm grab it behind their own net. Jugnoff takes it and goes for a little bit of a skate, ends up in front of his own net being pressured. Tries to fire it down, but doesn't reach his intended target. LaFontaine grabs it, though. He's in one-on-one, takes a shot. It's gloved away by the goaltender on the ice. And the Paperkings have it again, and they're heading back down the ice. Siblovich has it, takes a shot from just inside the blue line, tries to get his own rebound, but isn't able to get a second shot on net. And it circles around into the other corner. Guthrie picks it up for the Paperkings. It's thrown behind the net. Ferguson over to Siblovich again. Back behind the net, and the Paperkings player is tripped up, so they have the puck. Horgan's controlling it. Throws it back into the corner. Back out where it's picked up by Crump, and the whistle is blown on a 2-minute tripping penalty against the Storm.
And the rich get richer. 3-0 immediately, getting a penalty. Iroquois Falls, that is. Paperkings, they've looked good. They're in complete control so far. Any opportunity going against them, they're able to shut down. And 5-on-4 with the space and the speed you already generate in a 5-on-5, I expect good things out of Espanola here.
Yeah, and the funny thing about the Espanola team is they're one of the teams in the league where they're not really expected to be like a top contender, but they have some really top-end talent on their roster where if you're giving them chances, they're going to make you pay for it.
Exactly. They're not to be trifled with. They know what they are and they know what their strengths are, and boy, do they play to them.
And Signoretti, one of those players who has 2 goals tonight, playing the point on the power play. He has the puck again. Skating across, makes a pass down low. Pass back to Signoretti. He throws it across to Horgan. Horgan has it. Back to Signoretti. And he takes a shot, but it's blocked and goes into the corner. Paperkings pick it back up again and control the puck. It's back to Horgan again. Horgan moves it across. Back to Peters Davies, who throws it down to Signoretti. Signoretti's making a move. Back to Horgan in front, and he shoots and is saved by a blocker and covered up before a rebound can be pounced on by the Paperkings.
Goaltender just got a little piece of that. Was able to just get his blocker up, fall on top of it, and mitigate a rebound. Well done on that one. And an update on that goal. It's the exact same stat line as the previous one. Lucas Signoretti, assisted by Jack Lyons and Blake Peters-Davy.
And they have the puck again. Out to Signoretti, takes a shot, but doesn't make it to the net. Peters-Davy throws it back in, but the Storm grabbed and threw it all the way down to the Paperkings' end. Horgan back behind his own net to grab it and to start to make his way up the ice. He has Leach on him. He throws it up to Signoretti. Signoretti throws it up to Ferguson, who crosses the blue line into the Storm zone. And he holds on to it a little bit, circles around, holds the blue line, throws it across to Horgan. Horgan passes it up into Signoretti. In front, the shot was missed. It slides into the corner, but the Paperkings pick the puck up again. Signoretti has it at the point. Cycling around, throws it down. Pass goes across the center to Ferguson. Intercepted, but it goes back again to Peters-Davy. Back to Signoretti at the point. Back to Horgan. In front to Ferguson. But it's intercepted and cleared out of the zone. Horgan has it. The Storm are having a hard time with the line changes here, having the long change. Signoretti breaks in. There's a shot. Scores as he's hauled down. Signoretti scores. Third goal of the game. Beautiful goal.
What an individual effort there from Signoretti. Sees the gap, splits the D, and on his way down is able to shove that one in underneath the blocker for a hat trick with 8:47 remaining in the second period. This guy is unbelievable.
He is on fire tonight, and he is just making all these beautiful plays. I didn't think that play was going anywhere, but man, all of a sudden he just turns on the afterburners and breaks through. And
will not be denied.
And Lyons chips it into the end of the Storm. They recover the puck and try to make a breakout. Pass on to Roy. Schwanish has it now. He crosses the blue line into the Paperkings' end, hands off the puck. Shot, score! That's looking like a nothing shot from the top of the circle, but there's a lot going on in front, so the goaltender wasn't able to have a clear view of it, and Galton lets his first one in of the night.
And if your Iroquois falls, that means everything. You go down 4-0. You're getting lots of solid opportunities. You just get a hat trick scored on you. You need some sort of motivation. You need something to get the fire lit underneath you. And a quick shot from the point is just the thing to get you back in this.
And the Storm win that draw, have it in control in their end, but its pass is intercepted, and then it's stolen back by Chawanish. He loops around, throws it back to Gilden. He passes it across. Comes back across to Roy, but he misses it. Sorry has it for the Paperkings. Throws it in. Signoretti has it in again, trying to make magic happen. But that is saved. Held the line by Short. Comes in and is gloved down by Dunham Fox on one that could have been a goal.
This will bring us to our mid-period break, where I'd like to once again mention that the Canadian Mental Health Association, Sudbury/Manitoulin, is a community-based mental health and addictions care organization that provides a wide range of supports and services to Greater Sudbury and region. To learn more, please visit CMHA Sudbury/Manitoulin at 111 Elm Street, Sudbury, or go to sm.cmha.ca. That is sm.cmha.ca.
Yeah, and that's an important cause, and it's really great to see the NOJHL making a stand and making an important note of such an important organization for the communities that they're involved in, which may, otherwise not have a whole lot of services available to them.
That is one of the things about living up north, is that essential services like mental health help, like addictions treatment, are harder and harder to come by because there's less people, there's not enough infrastructure sometimes for those things, so bringing awareness to those things that are in your community is especially important.
And we head into a face-off here. Lyons wins it back, but it's intercepted and brought out. LaFontaine has it, but he loses control of it. Sari picks it up, throws it behind his own net, and it's fired down, but it's intercepted by the Storm, and they have control. Cassidy throws it across to his partner, who fires it up to LaFontaine, but that pass is tipped and out of his control. It goes all the way down the ice, no icing. Sari has control of it though, starts breaking out of his own end, passes it up, crosses the blue line, passes across to Peters Davies. And the Paperkings have a good play going, but the puck's taken off of his stick, but he's fighting for it back. Cassidy has it, whips it around the corner. There's a struggle for it, but LaFontaine ends up with it and clears the zone. Short picks it up for the Paperkings zone, fires it back in. The Storm have it, throw it up, chip it up to try and chip it in, but it's missed. The late hit was thrown on Crump, and he is not happy about it. Right after he had chipped the puck into his own bench and had a face-off called.
Fingers crossed, things have looked fairly clean this game. Some of those goals were a little quick and dirty, but aside from that, everything's looked like a solid game of hockey.
Yeah.
Just exactly what you want to see, especially this early in the season. You're still feeling things out, and you want to try your hardest and show that you're a good hockey team, not that you need to rely on anything else. This isn't the playoffs yet.
And the shot was taken from just inside the red line. Easy catcher save. Looked like a catcher as in the baseball position as opposed to the glove catcher that goalies usually have, but we have face off to the blocker side of the Dunham Fox. Jugnath wins the face off, and it ends up back and forth between teams, but it's the Storm get it down the ice. Rufa picks it up and throws it around the boards for the Paperkings, but that's for a pinching defenseman, grabs it for the Storm, and there's a fight for it in the corner. It's bouncing around. No one's really gained control yet. Storm have it on their stick, and the Paperkings get it back. And the Storm have it, and the Paperkings get it back again. Jugnath grabs it, throws it out in front. Can't find anyone, but the defenseman grabs it, throws it into the corner. Back behind the net, the Storm have it. They're maintaining a little pressure here. Felix throws it back in. It looks like Rufa for the Paperkings is going to grab it, and they're going to try and clear it out, but it doesn't get out of the end. The shot towards the net was deflected into the corner. Jugnath had it. Corbett grabs it, tries to circle out in front, tries to make a play through. Cho grabs it, throws it back to the Felix at the point. Felix circles around, takes a shot on the net, pad save. Paperkings pick it up and throw it down the ice. It's up for icing, but I don't know if it's going to get there. Waved off, Felix grabs it. His partner comes in, takes over as he was checked. He was taken down in front of the net. That's going to be a 2 minutes for tripping there. And we're going to have 2-man advantage for the Storm. Sorry, 1-man advantage for 2 minutes for the Storm.
Yeah, and the Storm, they get one back. They keep this within 3. There's still a good amount of time in this period and a whole other period of play. They've continually looked a bit more solid, a bit more confident in the types of moves that they're making at this point. With a man advantage, with that added confidence, hopefully they're able to shorten this lead to within 2.
Yeah, if they can get back to within that with this power play, then they're in good shape heading into the intermission. Cassidy has it at the point. Throws it across to Sherwin. So that goes back across the ice. We're trying to make a play there. In check, Cho picks it up for him, throws it down deep. They have it in the corner. Pass out in front is intercepted, though. And the Paperkings make their way down the ice to try and have a rush. And that's called offside on the Paperkings, trying to make a 2-on-1 rush on the shorthanded play.
Not exactly how you want to start a power play, but I see what they were going for. Try and create the space, drawing the defender closer to the boards, get your point man open in order to make a shot, and pass back to the point man, just got a little stick on it and gave the Espanola Paperkings a chance.
When Paperkings won that draw, they were able to escape back and kill some more time before firing it down the ice. And their forwards are high pressure, 2 men in deep checking. But the Storm get out, and they're called for offside as they break into the Paperkings zone.
Jump the gun a little bit. Good speed on the rush there, creating an opportunity, but fortunately, unless all you guys are on the same page or on the same side of the ice, things are going to get called dead and kill your momentum with a minute 18 left in this power play.
The puck is dropped. Cho wins it back. Chawanish has it. Skates it into the zone. But he's checked. Hands it off to Sherwin. Sherwin takes a shot, but it's over the net. He's just scramble for it, but it ends up back on the control of the Storm. They throw it in deep. Do a little bit of cycling with the puck here. Moving around. Tries to find the man in front, but doesn't get to him. But Cho grabs the puck back. He's behind the net. Trying to find someone to pass it out to. Gets back to the point. Cross to Cassidy. He throws it up to the boards to Chawanish, but he's struggling with it. Peters Davies gets it and chips it out. But the Storm grab it, get back in again. Sherwin stands up Pethick at the line, and the Storm have the puck behind the net, but he's being checked closely. Cho grabs the puck, back to the point, over to Chawanish. He finds the man in front, takes a shot, but it's saved. The rebound goes up. It was chipped towards him again for a second save. Cassidy just barely holds it in. Does some skating around with the puck. Tries to hit a man, but he fixes it over to the other side, and that's Signoretti, who's hauled down on a play with it. Chawanish is going to go to the box for 2 minutes for holding or tripping. Interference is what they're calling.
Interference. And you can't have a power play go much worse than that. Not able to get a lot going. You had one chance there in the last 20 seconds where you're able to get close to the net. Bouncing puck, maybe you're able to whack something in, but aside from that, Espinola's been getting their sticks in the way of everything. You're not able to break them apart far enough to where there's not an obstacle in the way, and they're so good at dealing with that. And then at the very end of your advantage, they're able to go on a breakout and you draw a penalty, putting yourself at the disadvantage when you really can't afford one.
And Espinola wins the draw, so they control the puck for 4-on-4. As the penalty ends and we're up to 5-on-4 for Espinola, they go to pass back to their man, but there's no one there. All the way back down. Galton controls it, hands it off to his defenseman, who has a bit of space and is start moving up the ice here. Denuden has it off his skates. Siblovic chips it in, and it gets chipped back to the corner where Siblovic can grab it. Goes back towards the point. Signoretti holds it in, and he's making a play. He's getting checked closely, though. Paperkings maintain control of the puck, though. Goes back to Rampersad, where he throws it out, and it finds its way back down the ice. Rampersad's the first one back for the Paperkings. Curls back, looks to make a long pass up to Denuden, but that play misses his stick, and it's down for icing. They call no icing on it, though, as Ferguson beat it out. They try to pass across. Rampersad has it, throws it off to the other side for Siblovic, but he's not there. Siblovic does gain control, though. Throws across to Rampersad. Rampersad to front of the net. Ferguson's shot goes up, over, and into the meshing.
Ferguson using his size to his advantage there, sneaking in behind the defense, able to get right up in there in the slot, get a high-quality chance off, but his stick gets in the way and goes high.
It's not often you hear use the size to advantage in favor of a small guy, but he certainly did there by sneaking in like that.
Hockey's a strange sport in that way.
It sure is. So some discussion with the refs about the play when the coach is on Paperkings' bench, but Paperkings win the draw. Back to Horgan, across to Signoretti. Signoretti skates across the blue line, switches plays. Horgan gets the puck back. He skates in, takes a shot, but it's blocked by the goaltender. Goes to the corner, shot out by the Storm, but is blocked at the blue line. Signoretti has it. He's walking in, throws it up to a player. Up to Ferguson, who takes a shot, but it misses the net. We have Leach over there making a play for it for the Storm, who's able to chip it out. Gets down into the Paperkings' end, but Signoretti picks it up and makes his way back down the ice. Signoretti crosses blue and tries to make a fancy play, and he does, but the shot over hits the blocker and is kept out by the goaltender. And on that note, we have the power play ending, but they're making another play for it there. And there is a goal scored in front of the net. That was a great play by Peters Davies to try and bust his way out in front. And it looks like it was Guthrie that actually ended up popping that one in.
Manages to sneak through there. Little dips and doodle with the puck. gets it just above the pad, and unfortunately for the Iroquois Falls goaltender, nothing doing. 5-1 with 1:43 remaining. 23 shots on net, 5 goals.
And the puck is dropped. The Storm win the draw. Felix has it, chips it up. Paperkings pick it up and they chip it back down. There's some back and forth with the puck here. Jugnoth for the Storm controls it. Gets it in, chips it into the end. But in fact just went into his own bench. And we'll have a face-off outside of the Paperking zone.
Not to jinx it, but so far every single winning team on this pad has won by at least 5 points, by having at least 5 points. And with the trend things are going, 5-1 the current score.
Seen a lot of goals.
It's a lot of scoring on pad 2 here at the NOJHL Showcase.
And the Paperkings win the draw and get it into the end of the Storm. They have it. They're playing around in front. There's some tough play. The goalie grabs it. And some people are starting to get excited about things. And as we've seen tends to be a pattern with the Paperkings particularly, them boys get excited.
They do tend to get rowdy as the game goes on, but it's understandable. You're spending more time with an opponent. Small storylines within a game start to develop, and emotions start to get heated. Because in a league like this, where there's not as many teams, every point matters.
Yep. And the play is won by the Paperkings. They have control in the Storm zone. And they're fighting behind the net. The puck ended up being blown down because it was stuck on the net.
Minute 2 remaining. Shots currently 25-23 in favor of the Paperkings. Score still 5-1. For all of you watching at home, thank you for joining us.
And that's a quick shot by Drigo in front that just missed the net. And the bounce off the back was shot again and missed the net. But now the Storm have control of the puck in their own end as they try to break out. And that's taken off one of their sticks. Another one grabs it. The Paperkings looking to gain control now, but they just throw it back in. Watt for the Storm grabs the puck and holds on to it. Passes it up to Roy. He gets the cross out of the blue line to Gilden. And then Ferguson grabs it for the Paperkings and breaks into their zone. And he has a couple guys on him, but he walks away with the puck. Gets hit. Hands it off to a teammate. Puck goes back around to the defenseman. Pethick takes a shot. And it bounces off the back of the net there. And is blown down again.
Espinola once again, fast zone entry. Ferguson doing a really good job of dealing with multiple defenders at the same time. Manages to get the puck back to the blue line. Manages to make sure that no matter how much time is left on the board, you're still going to be in a scoring chance.
And Signoretti's in for the draw against Chawanish. Chawanish wins that one as they break out. Scott, the former Voodoo, is playing with the puck, gets in, but he's bumped off it. Rampersad has it, throws it off the glass, and it clears the zone. But Chawanish has it inside, but it was deemed to be offside, and the play is blown dead.
I'd say make sure you're setting up for a scoring chance no matter how much time is left on the board, but 6.6 seconds here with the draw outside the zone. It would be hard for either team to get anything done.
Not impossible, though.
Not impossible. Quite difficult.
So Chwanishin looks like he's moving forward with the puck, although he loses the draw. And the Storm gets fired in the Storm's end. They pass it back and forth, and the buzzer goes to end our second period of play.
5-1 is your score at this time. 25-23 remains the shots. Lucas Signoretti with the hat trick in that period. And Iroquois Falls putting up their first and only point as Alan Watt got that one soon after Signoretti's hat trick. 20 minutes remain in this game between Iroquois Falls and Espanola. We will have you right after this break.